Welcome to Real Talk Christian Podcast, where we drink coffee and have real conversations on faith, culture, and society. I'm your host, Chris Fuller.
And I'm Marc Hyde.
And on today's episode, we have another guest. You asked for the guest. We've come to deliver. We're going to be talking with Joe Jarvis today about his life and his new single that just came out not too long ago, Love is a Verb. We're looking forward to the conversation and hope you guys are looking forward to it too. So check it out.
You ready?
Let's go.
Bro, you almost messed up. Let's go.
Hang on.
Wait.
Hey, Marc, you ready?
Let's go.
There we go.
Man, after 200 something episodes, you think we got this down?
Man, terrible. You know, today
we're doing pretty good.
Today was a little bit more of a stressful day than normal when we podcast on podcast nights because, like,
for you
beat me here.
I walked into the house. Janelle was not in the house.
Janelle was chasing our dog outside.
Oh, I don't think our faces are quite in focus.
Oh,
I think
it's
our
all right.
sides in focus.
It's fine.
Sorry, YouTube.
Yeah, look, sign's out of focus now.
Goodness, whatever. I'm just gonna back up so I'm more in focus. But
anyway,
I walk into your house, bro.
Janelle's outside chasing the dog.
I'm not home yet. Let me. I'm like, where's your dad? And they're like, he's at work. And I'm like,
yeah.
Are we supposed to record tonight?
Yeah, I was like,
what the flip, dude? Are we supposed to record tonight? And so I'm checking I'm checking the calendar, checking the schedule. I walk in and then I just come downstairs and start turning the things on. And Janelle didn't even know I was home until I walked upstairs.
Mi casa, su casa. You come in and just make yourself at home.
So. I mean, now Janelle did say, hey, if Mr. Marky Marks walks in,
let him in. Yep.
And they were like, but what if it's Daddy? We won't let Daddy in. No, you can't let Daddy in. Just Marky Mark.
Daddy's got a key though.
Be true.
Yeah, it's been an interesting day of events so far.
But since Revive Fest, bro, dude, you've been grinding. Because like before Revive Fest, I feel like I was doing Jack Dilly squat and you were doing everything. Well, and work's been killing you. And like today, I spent literally the entire work morning working on RTC stuff.
That's so cool, man.
Which I haven't done that in like a year.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy that you've been able to do that. Just for the opportunity to be able to do that.
Just for the opportunity for you not to be able to do that, you mean?
No. Just for the opportunity for you to be like, hey, I've got some free time and I want to work on something I want to work on.
I don't know if it's really free time or not, but we'll find out if I get behind my projects. But
don't do that.
Why don't you ask me, Fuller, what I've been working on?
What have you been working on?
Relaunching the RTC store, baby. Whoop, whoop. So by the time you hear this, it better dang well be already up and running.
We're waiting for it to materialize.
I don't get it, dude. Right? So the store's like, okay, put all your items in. We put all the items. I mean, dude, we have a crap load of items. Like we legit have coffee cups. We have journals, spiral bound t-shirts. I have throw pillows up in the store now. We could do clocks. We got stickers. We got pins. We got all the shirts.
What's the thing we always say? All the things.
Literally, like phone cases, iPad cases, all the things. And so I got it all done, got it all set up, and all of a sudden they were like, no store to be found. And I'm like, what?
That's what they did to me. And that's why I was like, all right, I ain't got time.
Yeah, you told me like, I ain't figuring this out. So I figured it out. You had to have 5 designs in this store for it to go live. And then they're like, it might take another 24 hours to populate. So
like, come on.
Right. So I had it like sitting up on my secondary monitor. I had the Lord of the Rings over there because I've been going through the Lord of the Rings again the last little bit. Nice. So I just finished up actually, I fell asleep in the last 5 minutes of the Return of the King last night. Extended editions.
You've got to.
So I finished that this morning, and then I started watching The Hobbit. So I finished the first one, and I don't know, 40 minutes into the second one.
Are you going to watch the Ring of Power series though?
The Amazon one?
Yeah.
I already have.
Okay, I was going to say
technically no. I did not finish it. I was up to date.
But what I'm saying is you're going through Lord of the Rings now. Even though people have mixed feelings on it, you got to go through it.
Oh, absolutely.
You have to.
I was up to date because Amazon was dropping them like every week or whatever. Yeah. I was up to date on them, and then I think I have like 1 or 2 episodes left.
See, I actually I know a lot of people didn't like them. I kind of enjoyed them.
They were good.
I thought they were decent. So
so hot take. Are you looking forward to? Wait. I might be lying. Are they redoing like something else with Lord of the Rings for Amazon? No, boo boo. That's
Netflix is doing Chronicles of
Narnia.
Yes.
Sorry, that is not Tolkien.
No,
that is our boy C.S. Lewis.
Yes,
my bad.
Yes,
but hot take. Are you looking forward to that one?
I don't have Netflix.
Oh, that's true.
So your boy ain't gonna get to see it.
I believe in the power of that sharing is caring, and I share my sister-in-law's password. So
it's better to give than to receive. And my sister gave it.
Absolutely, and she gave it, and I received it. Blessed. You know, but seriously, like when I was a kid, Mama said, "Hey, if someone gives you a gift, you need to shut up and say thank you, and not make anything because they're sacrifices. So let them feel the warmth of you accepting the gift. So I will accept streaming platforms passwords."
Okay, we'll stop there before you get in trouble.
Maybe up on Instagram, Team Marc Hyde, baby. Give me all damn passwords.
All right. Well, I don't want to keep our guests waiting too long,
bro.
So why don't we talk about the coffee we're drinking
Definitely.
tonight? So what do you got?
I woke up last week.
We're drinking 2 different coffees.
I woke up last week ready to fight somebody about 2:30 in the morning. And so I texted you today. I'm like, dude, I can't have any more caffeine at RTC night. So I am drinking, no joke, the best decaf I've ever had. And I have tried many decafs because there's a little bit where I'm like, I had to go just straight decaf. And then Beth and I do half decaf, like half calf, so we get more cups throughout the day. But a local shop, the Electric Brew, has hands down that I've tasted so far the best decaf out there.
Nice.
They don't char it and they don't burn it, but decaf is always a bit of a darker roast, medium to dark roast. But I'm saving that cup for tomorrow.
Yeah, well, so tomorrow.
It's game day, baby.
Time of recording. Notre Dame starts playing tomorrow. So your boy's Navy got his jersey on, his cup.
I got my swag.
Sorry to our guest who's from Detroit. Maybe
Michigan sucks.
Wow, already throwing down.
And that part is Joe's muted, so you can't say nothing.
Sorry, Joe. We'll give you a chance maybe later. Anyways, so I am drinking Toccoa coffee, the local, another local, and their cozy cookie recipe.
Can I at least smell it?
Which is you can smell it.
Have a little sippy sip.
I think you've had it before. It's cold. It's almost gone.
Oh, that's very cinnamon.
It's very hazelnut. It's got a lot of hazelnut notes in it. It
smells like a snickerdoodle. It smells like the snickerdoodle,
but it's made with
it's got a
lot of hazelnut though with the snickerdoodle taste. It's really good. So this is their Christmas blend, and they ended up roasting a bunch of this blend again. And I saw it, and I'm like, I'm buying 2 bags of this, not just 1, 2 bags of it. And Gina's like, I gave you the cozy cookie. I said, no, you didn't, boo boo. There's a whole nother bag of it. She's like, what? I'm like, yeah.
So basically, is you giving
and receiving.
Keep it PG on the podcast, bro.
Oh, jeez. That's not what I was talking about, bro. Come on. Anyways, so that's the coffee we're drinking.
So we're drinking some local stuff. And
what's our review?
So we decided to go a little bit different. I am reading a review from the Facebook.
The Facebook? Because
in case you guys...
Wait.
We're over 30.
It's the Facebook?
We're over 30. We're allowed to say the Facebook and the Google and the Snap.
All right.
And the Twitter. I'm not an old man.
Leave me alone.
Not an old man. So, and maybe I read this review before. Sure. I don't know, but this comes from a year ago. And the reason why I want to read the review is because, in case you didn't know, you can go to Facebook and leave us a review over there as well. This is from Adam Loeffler, I think. He's from Poland. Stinking Poland. Which, side note, I've been talking with someone from Belgium today, which is just stinking awesome.
Wow. Okay, cool.
Anyway, so Adam says, I'm really happy I found this podcast. So fun, so helpful, so goofy and wise at the same time. That is the best. That's going to be the new tagline. Welcome to our Royal Talk Christian podcast, where we are goofy and wise at the same time. I am the Josiah Venture missionary servant in Poland, and as a Pole servant in my own country, I do not have a lot of options and places to find answers to basic and important questions we all have.
Wait, hang on a sec.
Did I go too fast?
Slow down.
Sorry.
You're on decaf and you're talking so fast, I can't understand you. Read that again.
Well, because I was thinking while I was reading, I think I read this one. All right, let me go back. So I'm a Josiah Venture missionary serving in Poland, and as a Pole serving in my own country, I do not have a lot of options and places to find answers to basic and important questions we all have. It's super nice you guys examine the matter from different perspectives. Serving with youth and young adults is tricky. Serving with young adults is tricky. They know how to ask good questions. There you go. On the other hand, being part of a local church equals being in a relationship with elderly, and they have their perspective too, right? Such a satisfying mix. Thank Jesus. It disappeared. Thank you guys for your ministry, hearts, attitudes, and doing all of this. Well, so check this out. If you live in the USA, we can send you a main swag bag. We just out the USA. Yeah. We blew our budget on that one time. So we can't be doing that.
We're no longer sponsored by Lifeway, so it's
sorry, Sabrina.
Yeah, sorry.
Can't be sending all the gifts up to Canada. But if you could do us a massive favor on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, even the Facebook. Leave us a rating and review so that way more people just like you can listen in on these conversations.
That's right.
All right, bro. So you got another interview lined up for us tonight.
It's not
really back to back because there's like an episode in between, but for weekends, this is back to back recording.
But I'm excited because this is yet another guest that we listened to at Revive Fest. So we really enjoyed their music, and they just happened to pop over to the tent. I say they.
So long story short,
he stopped over to the tent and just like, hey guys, how's it going? What's your podcast about? We had a nice long conversation. I'm like, hey man, it'd be great to have you on the podcast. He's like, I'd love to be on the podcast. So here he is, Joe Jarvis.
Woo!
On the podcast.
Hey, how are you doing, everyone?
Cheer sounds.
Yeah.
It's an honor to be here, guys. So what's the stuff about Michigan I was hearing earlier?
They suck.
He's like, man, I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting.
Michigan sucks all the time. Michigan State,
let's
suck too.
Let's define if he's a true fan or not.
Ooh.
Can you sing the Michigan fight song?
Listen,
I'll
be honest. I'm gonna level with you guys. Here. Okay.
Oh,
I appreciate the local sports scene, but it's not my thing.
He's like, if it was music, maybe, but it's not. So,
well, there's a little more for it, though.
Yeah. If I have to pick a side,
you keep thinking like you're over there. The camera going. My bad, Joe.
But if I have to pick a side, my dad, he works for the U of M hospital, so I kind of have to say U of M over State.
Okay.
That's fair.
All right.
I don't have a strong opinion.
We already takes our tax money, so we're fans of that.
Yeah, I mean, we got to be with it. We pay them. No, so Joe, it's great to have you on the podcast. Thank you for being on here with us, and we're looking forward to having this conversation with you tonight.
Absolutely.
Joe, why don't you tell some of our listeners a little bit about yourself and like where you came from, where you grew up, and what life looked like growing up prior to getting into music?
Absolutely. Well, yeah. So I'm from the Detroit area. It's been a whirlwind over the past couple years, but for me, it started. Well, music was always a big part of my life. I mean, my mom is a music teacher, so I mean, there was always something going on, and I did a lot of church music. Like in high school, got involved with the local worship team at my church and through the youth group.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, it was more of like, I don't want to call it a hobby. It was something that I loved, but like at the time, like I wanted to go into the culinary arts of all things.
Dang. Oh. Okay.
Mm-hmm. But like, as I kind of
cooking food and cooking beef. Let's go.
I love that stuff. I love the Food Network and
me too.
Especially like the Great Food Truck Race. Like I always have like a little fantasy.
You're speaking my wife's love language right now.
How you feel about Michigan football is how I feel about this conversation right now.
No, you're speaking the Fuller household love language right now of the Food Network channel. Great. So continue on, my friend.
We're gonna get along great then. This is
exactly music, food. What more can there be besides Notre Dame football? Anyways, continue on.
Jesus, don't forget that.
Oh yeah, that's Notre Dame football.
Him too. Exactly. No, but that's what I loved. I did some classes like the local community college in high school to kind of pursue that. But the thing is that as I kind of did more involved with like the church worship team, and then like I got involved with some fine art competitions throughout high school, and I took home some awards from that. But thing is, I kind of got like a goal, a deadline to kind of like, okay, because I got into songwriting. I had a guitar teacher that did some Christian CCM songwriting, that kind of like, oh, what if I could do that? And it kind of that developed as like my hobby. And then over time, like I felt God calling me to like, this is what you're meant to do. So it was kind of like a gradual thing, but I always had a love for music. Like I said, through my mom, but even just sitting down on my grandpa's knee when I was like 3 or 4 years old, he'd sit me up at his computer and he would just kind of go through like every genre imaginable. So it's great, and I think it's served me well so far. It's been fun.
And so with your music, with all these different genres, what's your vibe then? Like, is it more like acoustic folk?
I mean,
is it the hard rock?
We know what your vibe is.
I'm trying to tee you up.
We were jamming to you before we got on with you.
I was trying to tee you up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously screamo metal. I mean, come on.
Right, of course.
Pastor Brando, our good buddy, our worship pastor.
Yeah. Your folk music. It's real screamo.
No, I am.
Folk, classic rock, and maybe a little bit of pop in there too. That would be the classic volume.
No, that's true. That's true. No, I'd say like I'll use like the umbrella term of Americana pop, CCM, something like that. You know, it's kind of funny. I was in Nashville a few years ago, and they asked me like, "What is your genre, Joe?" I was at a Gospel Music Association conference, and I'm like, "Well, I'm my genre is Christian." And they couldn't, like, I was about like 16, 17 at the time.
You're innocent, so innocent.
And they couldn't help but chuckle just a little bit. They're like, "Oh, bless your heart."
Wow, the old Southern classic. Oh, bless your heart.
No, but yeah, kind of like Americana pop, that sort of folk acoustic stuff. Yeah, a little bit of rock there in it. Yeah.
You know, I've read in you had an article published in somewhere in Nashville. I forget what the paper was, where you kind of did an interview with them, and you'd said that.
I think,
yeah, you said that you really got into it, like the musical aspect of everything, that like right around the age of 5, if I remember correctly. Is that am I saying that right? Right around 5.
I mean, guys, listen. I was the Happy Birthday Jesus boy at my church.
Happy birthday, Jesus.
Oh,
I'm so glad it's Christmas.
Yeah, I never got to be that guy. I never got to be that guy. I was not good enough for that.
Oh man. So you always grew up in the church scene then, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Have you ever I mean, I know, so a lot of artists draw from experiences in their life when they're trying to find for inspiration for their music. What has been your inspiration during your writing experience, your songwriting experience?
I mean, that's a really great question. I mean, there's been so many, like you said, so many different genres, so many things you can pull from. But I don't know, like I said earlier, like Christian music, what's really great about it is it's not necessarily a genre. And it's like, it's cool to see like all these different people groups and all these different genres coming together for the same goal. I think that's something that's always interested me a lot. Like having a chance to like encourage and minister to hurting, broken people, to show them who God is. And like I said, my experience in Nashville, just kind of pulling from everything. Like, I don't know. It's been a road of like different influences, but for me, I don't know. Like a big one for me would be Stephen Curtis Chapman. I mean, yeah,
bro. Amen. Are we worship soulmates here?
Oh my goodness.
Are we brothers from another mother?
Like I'm on an episode of Punked right now.
I feel like we're on the movie Step Brothers, and I'm like, did we just become best friends? And you're like, yep, Stephen Curtis Chapman. All right,
literally.
Well, we already bonded over our love of, you know, being addicts of caffeine. So
I haven't heard a bad thing come out of your mouth except for the U of M.
But that's my birth. That's my birth.
But
exactly.
So yeah, I mean, so Stephen Curtis Chapman, you know, he's kind of, you know, that would be you kind of relate to his style of music and writing in your life and the way you write. All right. So question, okay. What's your favorite Stephen Curtis Chapman album?
I mean, that's hard for me. I mean, The Glorious Unfolding is for me. I don't know, but okay. I also love what he did for what was the album just before that?
The Bluegrass one?
No, that's the one he just released.
Okay, I love the Bluegrass one though.
That one is my all-time favorite right now. Like all-time favorite. I love what he did with that.
Oh, absolutely. And honestly, I want like a part 2 and a part 3 and keep going. Go through all your albums, all your songs.
That'd be great.
But yeah,
especially we did diving in. I mean, just the way he did that, it was like, man, that's awesome.
Skags too. It was amazing.
Yep.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, okay, so this is kind of a joke, but also it's not. Like, if I could have like if I'm picturing myself as an artist, like there's all these different influences. Like Stephen Curtis Chapman, something I've always admired about him is his humility, right? You got and a lot of his style too, but then you got Mac Powell, you know, he's kind of like a rock star sort of vibe going, you know, so like a little swagger from Mac Powell.
Oh yeah. It's that deep voice, that's what it is.
Oh, that voice too. Yeah, so like if we could just combine like a few of my favorite Christian artists, like that's what I'm aiming to be, still far away from that, but yeah.
Awesome. So now in your writing, we've listened to Love is a Verb. What was some of the other ones that
was another we were jamming out to, and then Breaking Ground.
So where are you drawing the lyrics from? I mean, your musical style, we could see, Christian CCM and stuff like that, the musical style. Now with your lyrics, where are those ideas and passions coming from with your lyrical attributes to your songs?
Well, honestly, a lot of it comes from my own experiences, just things that I've been through. I mean, for instance, like I noticed my songwriting changed a lot because I don't know, back in like 2017, 18, and 19, like there were a few hard years for my family. Like my mom at the time, no, first my dad had a undiagnosed blood disorder that left him frail and anemic. And at the time, like we traveled all across the country to one hospital after the next, trying to find some answers, and they couldn't find any. And then not too long after that, my mom came down. She got diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer not too long after that. So like all this stuff kind of hit our family at once, and I was like, I think I was like 16, 17 when my dad had his stuff going on and just turned 18 by the time my mom was diagnosed. So like we had all this stuff going on at once. And it really just, it changed the way I looked at things. I mean, luckily they've recovered. They're okay now.
That's great. Good.
Yeah, it is great. It's a huge blessing. But like after that, like I noticed my songwriting shifted a bit because now I have more experiences to relate with people. So I guess it's kind of like it's a mix of my own experiences. Maybe it's something that I've heard in an awesome podcast such as your guys, or maybe or it's a sermon or anything like that. But really, it's just like what's God speaking to my heart right now, and like how can I convey that to other people?
Yeah. So if you don't mind me asking, I want to jump personal a little bit. Real talk, man. So when maybe you've had these conversations on, different conversations you've had with people just as you're doing shows or whatnot. But what are some things God's working on your heart right now? Yeah.
Well, okay. We're getting real.
You're an artist, bro. Because you're an artist. You always got something on your mind.
That's true. Oh, so like right now, I'd have to say it's just really like relying on him because like right now, I have shows that I have a show as soon as tomorrow, and as well by Monday I have to get all my schoolwork in. I'm here with you guys, which is great. I love it. There's just so many busy parts going on in my life right now, so it's to stay in constant communion with him, not trying to do it on my own, and it's just kind of relying on him for like every step, taking each step in faith, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And so practically speaking, like what does that look like? Like, 'cause I know we've had a lot of people recently inside of our Facebook group saying, hey, do any of you feel like you just don't want to like read you obviously know you're a Christian, but like, I just don't want to read the Bible. Like, it's just freaking hard. Or, it's hard to go to church. It's hard to pray. It's hard to find the rhythms and what's the word I'm looking for? Not just rhythms, but even just the desire that maybe you once had. So are there different rhythms that you have in place in your life right now where you're able to make that communion with God?
Well, I mean, it's been a struggle for me too, because, you get into such a busy headspace that you're like, okay, I don't have time for this. Like I have to do this and this and this and this and this. And then it becomes less and less of a priority to spend time with God. And then it gets even harder to get through the regular day stuff. So it's like, it's a vicious cycle, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So for me, it's lately, it's just been, even if the time feels like, okay, I have like so much to get done, but even so, I'm going to intentionally carve out this time every day. And it's hard to get started back because, I'm not like my song again, that just came out. I mean, it's based on the prodigal son, that one of my favorite parables that Jesus told, actually one of my favorite Bible stories in general, but it's based off of that, but it's also just based off of my own experiences because, yes, I am a Christian, but we all make mistakes. And one of that is just not spending enough time with God. So a lot of times, like I'll find myself like a couple days later, I have so much stuff on my plate and I'm like, man, I haven't I've maybe heard a podcast or a song or something like that reminded me of that, or like a quick prayer, but like I haven't actually taken time to really connect with God and to listen to what he's saying in my life. So
it sounds like you have similar struggles to all of us, right? of the balancing act of this going on and that going on, and how do we fit God into the busyness of just life. For you, it's you've got responsibilities at school. You've made commitments with your music. You're using your music as a ministry. It's not just something that you're trying to, earn a living, but you're trying to share that with others and share a good message with others. What would be your encouragement to those who find themselves maybe beating themselves up because they don't have that time, or they're trying to balance everything out and feeling bad because they don't feel like they spend enough time with God? Do you have any words of wisdom for those people in those situations?
I mean, listen, I'm still working at it, but mean, the verse that I keep in mind is His mercies are new every morning. So it's kind of like, sure, I may have screwed up yesterday. I could have done this better. I mean, that's literally the human condition. But at the same time, it's giving yourself grace while also like acknowledging that, yes, I could have done better, but it's not beating yourself up. And as far as like making time for God, I really want every single moment to be spent in communion with Him. And I mean, sure, maybe that's not reading the Bible for 24 hours straight without any breaks or anything like that, but like it's a certain mindset. It's keeping in communion in His presence throughout the day, and I think that's something that helps me a lot to kind of view it like that.
Yeah. So I want to kind of shift gears a little bit, if you don't mind, Mark and Joe, of your your music, because I know, like when Mark and I do the podcast, it's a ministry to us. To us, it's us having conversations with others and each other and trying to encourage each other in our faith. But and I don't think we really thought of it as a ministry per se, other than to maybe some youth at first.
Well, I mean, we definitely knew it had a level of teaching ministry to it, but we didn't realize who and how many.
Yeah, it was going to grow as big as it did. In what aspect of how much are you wanting your ministry to help others? Like I said, for us, we started small off here on RTC and never thought it would be as big as it is. And we praise God for it every day. Now, what is your aspiration? Where do you see God leading you with your music?
I mean, that's a great question. I mean, the thing is that it kind of changes. Like right now, the project that I'm working towards, the Love is a Verb album, or EP, if I run out of funds by then. We'll see how many songs.
Call spade is spade, my dude. Yep.
Right now, yeah.
So I don't know if you knew this, Mark, but this bro won. You won a competition at the Michigan State Fair, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah. This bro entered a contest and won, and won some prize money from it too. He ain't just a nobody anymore. Like, you go to Michigan State Fair, it's a big fair. That's a big fair to go and win. Anyways, continue on.
No, do you want me to keep going with what I was going, or do you want me to
no, keep going. Sorry, this is the rabbit trail, Chris. So, go.
I want to comment on that real quick because last year I won the Michigan State Fair Superstar competition, and they gave me the very humble title of Michigan State Fair Superstar.
Hey, so, slap that mug on a shirt.
No, but it's been a huge blessing. And actually, just this last weekend, I was able to this year, I'm kind of like a guest mentor with this year's kind of going through, and I kind of got a chance to. That was so incredibly cool. But over just this past year, it's been a whirlwind ever since.
Yeah,
and it's a lot of great opportunities. So, including getting a chance to, kind of put my lyrics and my melodies to to audio recording. So now, I've been working on the album. We'll see how many songs get on it because I got a certain amount of songs, but we'll see how much I can do beyond that. So, so sorry. What was your original question?
So how are you using your ministry, and how far do you see God taking it?
Right. So right now I kind of focused on the culmination of all the songs on the album. They'll talk about, showing God's love to others. It's choosing, basically every day, choosing love in action, because love is a verb. And now we're going back to my single. So that's kind of that's been the direction of my ministry at this point. It's been kind of just giving people examples and encouraging people to step out of their comfort zones and to make a choice. Because, we could all use a lot more love in our world right now. But and I'll kind of talk about this a little bit more later, but over these next few months, it's kind of shifting a little bit to the topic of mental and spiritual health. So and I can go into that a little bit later.
Yeah, no, let's get into that. So with that, like where did that desire to have the conversation around that topic start? Like, was it something personal? Was it something more just what you're seeing in the world around you? Like, okay, we need to speak into this as Christians. Like, where did that desire to have these conversations around the topic of spiritual and mental health come into play?
I mean, guys, it's a bit, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but it's been a rough few years.
Just a few rough years.
It's been a few rough years.
A lot of crap has hit a lot of fans. Let me just put it that way.
No, hey, you're not wrong. So I guess for me, it's kind of like seeing the state of the world, seeing where people are at. I mean, even stuff that I've gone through during that time and beforehand, like, I've always gone through basically a different struggle with, like, especially during like what I talked about earlier with my parents, like I was 18 years old at that time. And I got a little brother named Jack, and I wasn't sure if both my parents passed, like, would I be taking care of them? So you can imagine that caused a little bit of anxiety.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just, it's partly like what stuff I've gone through, but it's also a response to what I see, is in the world, and what my desire is to highlight the issues, and basically what is God saying about this, or what does he want to speak to his people? And I want to be the best conduit I could be to convey that. Through my own experiences and others.
And Joe, if you don't mind me asking, bro, how old are you?
22.
22. So definitely Gen Z. So with your guys' generation, because I can say
I'm
that.
on the border of millennial. I'm on the border of millennial.
Dude, you're old.
Oh, man. I am a millennial, though. Let me just tell you that. But here's the deal, though. But I still have my heart for the. Shut up, man. So I still have my massive heart for teens and college students. I mean, the calling's never gone away. And you're right, man. You see a lot of these college kids who, for reasons that are not their own doing, they just found themselves in these spots. Or sometimes we have to lay in the beds that we make, sadly. But with the upcoming generation, as like people like you are starting to come out of college and into life, and you're seeing this through the scope of like, holy crap, what is happening around us? What's a message that you want your generation to hear, either from your music or just from the scripture in general?
That there is
a deep question, bro.
No, it's a deep question, but if I could just put it simply, that there is hope, that there is something beyond all this, and that it's not going to be like this forever, and that basically it's putting there's purpose to your pain, the stuff that you've gone through, that God is going to work it into something and make it amazing. Even going through it wasn't amazing. Like, I think that's so helpful, at least for me, just knowing that, the stuff that I've gone through can actually make a difference in somebody's life. And that, to me, that makes it feel worth it.
Okay. So getting back into the music industry, what has been some of your most challenging struggles, especially with everything that's happened over the past few years? Like we were just kind of talking about, what has been some of the most things you've struggled with breaking into the CCM world, the Christian music, getting your music out there to help provide hope for those that may be feeling hopeless?
I mean, there's a lot of struggles. I mean, like, as far as like getting your music played, for instance, I mean, like for instance, all the record labels are pretty much bought up by the bigger ones now. So a lot of that is behind, I guess, a lot of things are behind gatekeepers, I guess. So like for me, like I was still writing, like through the pandemic, I was writing songs, and I was just posting things to like Facebook, YouTube, just trying to make a small difference. And but it wasn't until the Michigan State Fair that I finally had like enough underneath me to where, like pitching myself to these festivals, booking these shows. I mean, it's a challenge, but at the same time, I've been blessed. So far.
So is the goal then to kind of stay where you're at and just keep making music and try to be in more of this Midwest vibe? Or is the goal to do the classic, we're moving to Nashville?
Hey, we'll see. I got some buddies in Nashville, so we'll see. But right now, I don't know. I love Michigan, even if you guys don't.
I'm a Detroit Tigers fan, so you're good.
Okay.
I'm a huge Tigers fan.
We're good. We're even more
everything a little.
I don't like no fault insurance.
Yeah, that one stinks.
So I'm good with Indiana.
That makes it a little harder.
But they got lower property tax. So
that's true.
I mean,
and a lot more lakes.
Yeah. No. So is the plan to try to, if God allows, to grow into the CCM big leagues?
Well, first off, let me give you it may be the Sunday school answer, but it's also the truth. But basically, I want to go where God's calling me to be. Yeah. And like, I'm just trying to take it one step at a time. So, and whatever that looks like, I want to be the most effective that I can be to the largest. I don't want audience ministry. Like, basically, I want to impact as many people as I can and to be effective as I can. So whatever that looks like, if that makes sense.
Okay. And so how I'm trying to think of how I want to phrase. So for our listeners, I gave Joe 12 questions. I'm like, we may hit some of these, we may come off the wall, and I've been trying to hit them, but I've been phrasing them differently. I don't know if you've caught on to some of that, Joe, but it's okay. As I'm reading them, I'm like, man, I made it really challenging. I should just say it, make it sound a little natural. But I do want to read this one. It says, how do you navigate the challenges and pressures of the music industry while staying true to your Christian values and maintaining authenticity as an artist? Because I know this is something that Marc and I talk about all the time as podcasters. It's like, well, we could grow this thing pretty big if we wanted to, hit the grind and not follow the spirit, really, and just push it and monetize it and just go for it. But we are trying to be sensitive to the spirit and remain humble and only go as far as God wants us to go rather than trying to force it. We're just letting God lead this whole podcast. And so, navigating that for us is one thing, but navigating the music industry,
especially when, it could be your career,
is completely different. Yeah. And so how do you navigate those challenges and the pressure of even the music industry of, hey, we want you to look this way, or we want you to sing this certain style of song or music? How do you navigate that and maintain your authenticity as an artist?
Well, I mean, that's a great question. I mean, honestly, I'm still in the process of learning it. But basically, here's my heart. It's a balancing act. Ministry to me, like ministry and where the spirit is moving, that needs to be prioritized over the business. Mm-hmm. That's what's important to me. That's what I value. But at the same time, it's also a business, especially like if you're trying to make it a full-time career. Like, okay, I mean, there's taxes, there's car payments, house payments, there's, this wonderful thing called food on the table. So
kind of important, college, just a little.
Yeah. It's a little important. So it's hard. But at the same time, like I said, I just kind of believe, like, it's been every step in faith is kind of what it's ended up being. So, like, sure, like if there's something I can do to be more effective, I guess you could say, in the industry without compromising what I believe God's calling me to. I mean, I'll do my best to try that. So basically, I want to be the most effective that I can be without compromising my morals, and that's kind of where I've been, and that's kind of where I'm working towards.
Okay.
And if you don't mind me asking, so like with the Michigan State Fair, was that something where, I mean, you got to mentor, you got to bring somebody under your wing. Were you able to lean into your Christian faith a little bit with that mentoring, or was it more of just, we got to focus on music because that's what the gig calls for?
Well, I mean, actually, it's kind of interesting. I mean, even last year, it was really cool. So yeah, I got first place through the competition. Number 2 was another great, actually a Christian artist duo, a husband and wife team. They did an amazing job. And then third place was a Christian rap group, which was just they absolutely killed it. They were doing backflips off the stage. It was great.
Wow.
So and we saw a little bit more of that this year. So I don't know. Basically, it's just kind of what I've learned through my experiences, like getting a chance to mentor. I mean, like I said, I'm still learning this, and it's kind of, and there's a few people that are competing again from last year. So like, it's a little awkward, but I just basically, anything that I learned just to help encourage other people, through the music industry, but also saying, yeah, I am a Christian artist, and this is what I believe, and this is what I do. So once again, it's kind of being sensitive to the spirit. Like, what do I say in these moments? So yeah. They're aware of who I am, what I'm about. So it's basically just being sensitive to, what God's speaking at that moment.
So I guess my final question, and then I'll leave it for you if you've got any more questions, Mark. Is the very final one I sent to you, Joe, is can you provide any advice or encouragement to other aspiring Christian musicians who desire to use their talents for God's glory and make a positive impact in the music industry? If you could take what you have in your experience and what you've gone through already and what you're looking forward to going to, if you're talking to that 10-year-old boy or that 12-year-ld girl,
or even just the 14-year-old in youth group just trying to play worship.
Yeah. What would your advice be or encouragement about being a Christian musician?
Well, I mean, okay, there's a golden piece of advice for what I learned so far. Are you ready?
Ready.
Buckle up.
He forgot the buttercup. Buckle up, buckle up.
No.
With the get on voice.
No, it's a challenge, but kind of like that balancing like I was talking about earlier. But it's absolutely wonderful at the same time. So if I was to give any advice other than that really encouraging thing I just said a second ago, first off, like saying comparison is kill. Like we've all heard the phrase like comparison is killer, and it's not wrong. I mean, it's great to have people like I was talking about earlier. I have people that inspire me that are, maybe similar in genre, through CCM artistry, but, even through like, I love my oldies music as well. So like, but at the same time,
can I ask what you consider oldies?
I mean, all the way back to the 40s.
Okay.
Like we're oldie, boss.
I thought it could be like the 90s, and I was gonna be like, man, I feel real old.
Oldies like the Michael W. Smith and the Carmen.
Cameron's music videos, I mean, they were I mean, are you serious?
They were dope. They were dope. Satan bites the dust.
We're going back to your old day. Like this is
anyways,
this is hilarious for me to watch right now. This is freaking hilarious.
Back to the advice.
Right. No, I love it. But basically, you just have to remember that at some point you have to remember that you are a different person. God has a specific plan for your life, and the destinations are sometimes different. I wouldn't say like a ministry, let's just say like Matthew West is any more or less important than a local worship leader. They're just different they're different destinations. And a lot of times you have other people that are going to the same destination that you're going to, but maybe your road looks different. It's not going to be there's so many options now in the digital age and so many different strategies, and absolutely it's crazy. It's not just the record breaking you anymore. So a lot of times there isn't like a right or wrong answer that encompasses every single artist, like how to get there. So like God is a different path, and sometimes you have a different path and a different destination. So like comparing yourself to where you're at, because you're I'm basically ancient here. I'm 22 years old. I mean, then you see some,
I'm done.
No, but you see these 16-year-old hotshots on TikTok taking over by storm.
Yep, exactly.
Here we are,
so
for age.
This is basically just not to be discouraged, not to become bitter, because it's an easy thing to do. And if you feel God calling you into music ministry, I mean, then don't give up. Don't give into the external pressures. I mean, take each step out in faith. I mean, and spend lots of time in prayer. I mean, that's been my saving grace. That's the only reason I'm here. And I don't know, just kind of like studying, like wanting to better yourself, understanding like all the components. I mean, these days, like there's so many great online resources for people. So like I'd just advise to keep digging into that. It could be a YouTube video, it could be a course, it could be a book, it could be a local mentor. But whether it's being an artist, a worship leader, a teacher, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a fight. I mean, doing ministry work, and I'm sure you guys kind of have experienced this too, but when you're doing ministry work, I mean, it puts a bit of a target on your back. So, like expect adversity.
Just a little one.
Yeah. So expect it, but with God, all things are possible. So it's doing your part to the best of your abilities and just giving God, trusting him with the rest, I guess. That's from my limited experience. That's what I learned.
That's awesome.
Well, I say
we're speaking from experience, man.
That's some pretty good advice. So
I'm like, that was dope. Like sometimes even us old guys need to hear that once in a while. Where it's not always.
I like seeing the youth like really grasp some deep concepts and be like, this is what y'all need to do. And I was like,
yeah, you're right.
All right, you're right. I can get behind that. So.
I love it. But Joe, where can people find more about you, bro? Like music, social media, all the places.
Absolutely. Well, you can find me at Joe Jarvis Music, and that goes for my TikTok, my Instagram, Facebook, or go to joejarvismusic.com.
Awesome. Well, Joe, dude, it was an absolute pleasure being to hang out with you for the last hour or so on the pod,
taking
man. It was
some time
awesome.
out of your busy weekend and your busy life to hang out with us.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much. And actually, before I go, really quick, remember there was the mental health thing earlier I was talking about.
Dude, lean into it. No, that's our bad.
No, it's all good. No, but basically, I wanted to expound upon that before I left.
Yeah.
I mean, because actually, right now, me and a few other people are putting together a ministry for 2024. It's going to be called the Love and Laughs Tour. There's going to be more information on my website by the time this podcast comes out, right? Somewhere in October, right?
Right.
Yep. So it's gonna be through churches in the tri-state area. So far, we got Connor, my friend Connor Roy is an amazing Christian artist, as well as a Christian comedian. We're also in contact with another Christian artist right now, and we're going to be partnering up with some organizations, some ministries that deal with mental health to give people resources after the show and hopefully to speak during the show as well. So I just wanted to put that out there and look out for that.
And they can in the area. They'll be able to find all that on your website.
On my website, yep.
Okay, cool.
Awesome. And when you say tri-state, you mean like Michigan, Indiana, Ohio?
Yeah, maybe we'll be coming, near you guys.
That'd be dope.
Awesome.
That'd be dope.
Well, Joe, again, thank you for taking time out to hang out with us. But before we go, Marc,
we can't let him go yet.
Before we go, we got one more thing, a final wrap up here.
Oh, okay. I'm excited.
Fun facts is better.
So fun facts is something we've done every episode since episode
day one, baby.
And we don't want you to go away empty-handed, so we're going to give you a fun fact to take along with you.
Full RTC experience without the fun fact, my dude.
So the fun fact of the day is, did you know that the ancient Romans used to drop a piece of toast in their wine for good health? Hence the reason why we say, raise a toast.
No way.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I'm serious, man. Look it up. That is the truth. We only do facts on Fun Facts with
That's true. So another fun fact. My daughter, Mia, kid number 6. Every time we go to any Mexican place, she always does a tribute chip. The first chip she takes, she puts in the salsa, and it stays there the rest of the meal.
I offer you as tribute.
But seriously, like she just dips it in there, and then it stays into the whole meal, and then the server takes it away inside that bowl of salsa. So when I saw, they put a piece of toast in their wine, I'm like, hey, it's like Mia with her salsa dish.
There you go. This one's for you, Mia.
I love it.
Well, Joe, thanks for hanging out with us. If you, we're going to put you back in the green room. If you could just stick there for a little bit, and we'll be with you after we wrap up. Appreciate you. Thank you again so much for hanging out with us.
Hey, thanks for having me. I had a blast.
Awesome. Great. Well, and if you guys have not already checked this out already, you guys know where to go by now. Hopefully you've been knowing where to go.
Know where to go by now.
RealTalkChristianPodcast.com.
Everywhere.
That's where you can get all the things. All the access to the socials, there's a search bar that Marc made that you can go, hey, I want to learn more about, baptism. And you go beep, 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 in the search bar, and boom, it pulls up.
Now, I will say there, we had it set up where there was like 8 different categories of helping you in your faith walk, and there's all the different episodes broken up into those categories.
We ain't kept up on.
Well, no, your boy did, but then something broke. Something broke. So as of time recording, it's dead right now. But we'll get back and fix
use the search bar.
Absolutely.
And and make sure to hit us up on all the socials. What's our phone number?
574-400-5352.
Where you can send us a text.
Got it.
And if you haven't already, go to subscribe at YouTube. Hit that bell notification. So when we're on, you know that we're there. I don't know why I took over like the whole outro this time.
I've been saying it out. You forgot one thing, though.
Go for it, bro.
Let's continue the conversation over inside of the Facebook group.
Your favorite place.
Yeah, my favorite
the only place Marc hangs out anymore.
All day long. I am there literally all day long. We joke all the time like, hey, if you guys want to send us messages, because we have a lot of messages on Instagram and Facebook, like, you might be thinking, oh, man, they're not getting back to us. It's because you're one of like 200 messages. We just can't keep up with all of them.
There's a lot.
But the Facebook group is the best way to keep the conversation going. Right. So make sure you head over there, ask your question, keep the conversation going. Don't make the Facebook group suck because we want to keep it rolling. But we love you guys. So until next time,
take it easy.